When playing golf, there is one key club that everyone wants to be able to hit well. That one club is the driver, and now most people struggle with this. But in today's video, I'm going to give you 3 key tips to make you lot hit your driver straighter and longer. So should we get into the video? Tip number 1 is setup. When people race Formula 1 cars, they talk about the setup of the car, how key it is, how key that setup is to make their race perform. That's before they even get on the track. They have to put the groundwork in to make sure that the car is ready to race at maximum performance. And that's what we have to do with the golf swing. So most of the time when I'm watching people play golf and they swing their driver, they have a very, very narrow driver stance. They almost hit their driver like they would hit their irons, which is no good, because usually with a driver, it's the fastest swung golf club in the bag and people try and hit it the furthest. So my first tip is widen the stance. Most people say shoulder length. I actually like to go a bit more because I feel the wider your stance is, as long as it doesn't restrict your turn, the more power you can put behind it, the more stable you are, the more control you have of it. So let's look from front on and show you what it looks like. Like I said, most people have a very, very narrow stance. So when they're turning back, it's wobbly. You can't commit. You can't commit to that type of driver. So what I actually like to do is widen the stance, slightly wider than shoulder width. I just feel you get a good base. You'll find a place where you can feel comfortable and you can turn. And this allows you to go as hard at it as you want whilst staying in control, as so. Perfect balance, perfect strike, perfect golf shot. Let's see down the line. So from this side, you're not actually going to be able to see how wide my stance is, but you're going to have to trust me. I'm going to make my stance wide. We're going to hit the golf ball. We're not going to lose balance. We're going to hit a great shot because our base is allowing us to give it some absolute welly and hit a good golf shot. So let's have a look. Here we go. We set up, slightly wide stance, which is nice. We're going to turn and just give it a whirl. And just like that, no balance issues, long, straight, very, very good golf shot, to be fair. So tip number 1, make sure you've got a stance that's slightly wider than shoulder width, allowing you to turn, allowing you to hit the golf ball as hard as you want without falling over like this. Whoa. Don't do that. So tip number 2 actually has 2 sections to this tip. Tip number 2 is always hit the driver, as you see here, on the up. So you always want to catch the driver. Let me get a bit closer. You always want to catch the driver as the club's coming up like this to launch it into the air. You don't want to catch it on the down, pushing it into the ground, because the drivers have not that much loft. So you actually want to help the ball get up in the air. So you want to hit it on the up. So how do you do this? Well, my number 1 tip / trick to do this is actually tee the golf ball higher. When you watch most people play golf, they tee the golf ball on their driver to the middle of the face, which is fine because you would imagine, I want to hit the middle of the face, so let me tee it to the middle. But what you actually want to do is tee the ball here, which is slightly higher than club face. I like to leave about half the golf ball above the club because this tricks your mind into thinking I have to hit up and sweep the ball off the tee. So let me show you how it's done. So as you can see here, I've got a tee peg and it's actually moved the ball a little bit too high up the club face. But just for an example, let me show you now what the key is. We've got the wide stance. We want to sweep this ball off the tee. So catch it on the up and launch it up in the air. We don't want to catch it on the down because that's not going to help anyone. We're going to de-loft it and cause ourselves some problems. So on the up, and let's see what it looks like. There you have it. Straight as an arrow. The more you hit on the up, the more the ball just gets sent out there. This will actually increase distance of driving, but also increase accuracy as well, because you're not going to be squeezing the ball and creating a lot of backspin, side spin that will either fade, hook the ball. So tip number 2, tee the ball slightly higher to allow you to hit the ball on the up. Tip number 2. But tip number 3 of how to hit your driver better is to remain tall in the golf swing. Most people, when they swing the driver, will turn back, and as they go to hit the ball, crouch down and get very compact and very low on the golf ball. Now, this doesn't help you in any situation. No way does this ever help you. If you drop a tiny bit, that's not a big issue. That can create power, and you can create power from the legs. But what most people do, again, to the top, they really want to start hitting the golf ball hard, so they just let the body collapse and they throw everything at it, and they lose height, which then causes the club to either come really steep, again, which is not what we want. We've learned that in tip 2. Or it just causes complete compactness, and you've got no room, you get no power, and you hit every different type of shot under the sun. So tip number 3 for hitting good drives and nailing them is to remain tall throughout the golf swing. Now, there's many ways you can do that. How I like to do it is to feel like I'm tiptoeing through the middle of my golf swing. So let me show you. So again, we've got the ball set up. We've got the wide stance. We're going to turn, we're going to hit it on the up. But what I also like to do sometimes is feel that I'm tiptoeing through the ball to actually gain height. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to hit a good shot, but you just need to know the feeling. So this is what it's going to feel like. I'm going to feel like here and tiptoe, okay? So it's a real spring off my feet. And I tell you what, I actually got away with that. It was actually a very, very, very good golf shot. But the whole point was, we don't lose height, we get taller. Now, you're not going to do that in your actual golf swing. You're actually going to still lose a bit of height, but the feeling that you're getting taller is very, very good. Let's see it from front on. So again, front on, this is what most people do. They get to the top, they start to dip, they put all their power into it, and they stay low. As you can see, my arms are now bent. It's not helping anyone. So to the top, tiptoe and release, and let's see what happens. And hopefully, if we slow the video down, you should see that there was no height dropped, and we've actually hit an incredible golf shot. So now let's put all these together and hit one last massive drive. So if we add our 3 tips together, widening the stance to allow us a stronger base to actually hit the golf ball hard, teeing the ball higher, which is allowing us to hit up on the ball, and tip number 3, keeping your height to make sure you don't get too compact, too closed up. Let's see what the driver looks like, shall we? We're going to put all them together, and this is what you should come out with. And just like that, that's how you hit your driver much better in 3 simple tips. So if you have enjoyed that video, please leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, turn that notification bell on. We are going to have a new series coming to the channel very soon called 2-minute tips, and it's going to discuss many different tips from many different areas in the space of 2 minutes. If you have enjoyed this video as well and you like my style of content, make sure you follow me across all my socials, but most importantly, stay playing golf, but stay chopping. Peace.